If it's happening in professional wrestling, we're breaking it down. The matches, the moments, the rumors, and yes, even the hot takes. This is Pro Wrestling Focus. No nonsense, no wasted motion, just pure wrestling talk. Now here's your host, Cody Springer.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is my review of WWE Elimination Chamber, and holy crap, what a big moment we got from this show, from this PLE. I'm here to talk about the Elimination Chamber matches. Did Cody Rhodes sell his soul to The Rock? And who punched their ticket to WrestleMania? I'll talk about all of that here and more on Pro Wrestling Focus. All right, this is the Elimination Chamber review and my breakdown. I did my prediction show, headed into the weekend, before the show, and we'll see if my predictions matched up with, what we actually got. So, this is your Elimination Chamber review. We're going to start from the very beginning with the Women's Elimination Chamber match. We had Naomi, Liv Morgan, Bayley, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair. The winner was going to be facing the Women's World Champion at WrestleMania. And I'm going to be talking about that too. Because there was a reason why I was going to put this podcast out yesterday, but I actually wanted to wait to see what the outcome was going to be for Rhea Ripley and Io Sky from last night's Raw. But yeah, we'll get into that here in a second. So my predicted winner was Bayley, but the actual winner, Bianca Belair. So yeah, I was wrong in my prediction. But let's talk about this match because holy hell, it was nuts from the jump. As I had predicted, Jade Cargill returned, and she had one goal: revenge. People were suspecting Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez as the ones being behind the attack that took Jade out back in November. They had the security, or the cell phone footage, I should say, of Liv and Raquel being around the ambulance that took Jade to the hospital and everything. So, Bianca and Naomi were saying, it was Liv and Raquel. So Jade is making her way out to the ring. The match has already started at this point. And Liv, she's practically begging for mercy. But Jade wasn't interested in Liv. She turned to Naomi. Then she snapped. Jade brutalized Naomi, throwing her around like a rag doll before slamming the chamber door right into Naomi's throat. Meanwhile, Bianca Belair is in her pod, absolutely losing it because she can't do a damn thing about it. Naomi, she gets stretchered out, and just as Bianca's pod opens, she's got to try to shake it off and get into the fight. Man, talk about a wild start to this match, man. From there, I felt like the match kept a solid pace. I was not happy about Bayley being eliminated second from the match. Because, she was my pick to win. I thought it made the most sense for Bayley to win. And she was the second one out. So, I thought Roxanne Perez looked great, which, no surprise there. Alexa Bliss, she was in top form as well. One of the craziest moments from this match is when Bianca and Liv Morgan were on top of one of the pods, and Bianca whipped Liv Morgan with her braid, leaving a nasty welt across Liv's stomach and back. it just looked brutal. But in the end, it came down to Bianca and Liv. They went back and forth, but Bianca sealed the deal with a KOD, punching her ticket to WrestleMania. And look, Bianca Belair absolutely deserves this win. I have no problem with her facing going up against the Women's World Champion at WrestleMania. But here's where my frustration kicks in. She's right in the middle of this Jade and Naomi storyline. Not only is Naomi her friend, but Jade is too. And Jade just destroyed Naomi in front of Bianca's eyes. And then on Raw, Io Sky defeated Rhea Ripley to become the new WWE Women's World Champion. So that means at WrestleMania, it's going to be Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the title. But here's my problem. This still makes no sense. Bianca's still caught in the middle of this Jade and Naomi situation, so what's the plan? Is she just supposed to ignore the fact that her friend Jade took out her other friend Naomi in a vicious attack? Does this feud keep going with Bianca somehow stuck between them while also building for her match with Io? I don't know how WWE is going to handle this, but something's got to give. If they don't address Bianca's involvement in the Jade and Naomi story, it's going to feel like a major plot hole. Overall, this match had its highs and lows, but all the women worked hard. The Jade Cargill moment, that was the big story here for this match. And man, what a way to shake up the division heading to WrestleMania. Final match rating was 3.5 out of 5. All right, let's go on to Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I predicted Tiffany and Trish would win, and they were the actual winners. Let's talk about it. First off, my predicted winners, Trish and Tiffany, they won here. That's exactly what happened. No shock here. This was all about giving Trish her moment in front of her hometown crowd in Toronto. Like I said in my prediction show, Tiffany Stratton, she looked good in this match, and that was the biggest takeaway for me. They need to keep her momentum going, and this was another good showing for her. The finish of this match, I thought, was well put together. Trish hits the Stratusfaction off the top rope on Nia Jax. Candice goes for the lion salt to break up the pin, but Trish rolls out of the way, so she hits Nia instead. And then Tiffany nails the prettiest moonsault ever for the win. A clean, decisive victory. I kind of was a little surprised that Charlotte Flair didn't show up here, given that she's facing Tiffany at WrestleMania. I half expected her to be lurking at ringside, maybe even, get involved somehow. But honestly, I'm glad that she didn't, because this wasn't about Charlotte. This was about Trish, being in her hometown crowd, and Tiffany continuing to build her stock, as the WWE Women's Champion. Not a bad match, but not exactly a show stealer either. It did what it needed to do. And I'll be interested to see how they follow up with Tiffany heading into WrestleMania. So my match rating for this was a 2.5 out of 5 rating. Next up, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, unsanctioned match. I predicted Sami Zayn was going to win here, but the actual winner of this match was Kevin Owens. Yeah, this match was absolute chaos. These two were out to kill each other. Tables, chairs, anything they could get their hands on, they used it. And that steel chair wrapped in barbed wire, insane. I was honestly surprised that we didn't get any blood, but somehow the match just felt just as brutal without the blood. The near falls added a lot of drama, but I thought the ending of the match felt a little underwhelming. Owens hit Sami with 2 apron power bombs to put him away, which is fine, but it didn't have that extra punch that I was hoping for. Also, the presentation of this match was kind of weird. WWE went all out on making it feel unsanctioned with the dark lighting and the referee not wearing a ref shirt at first. Yeah, I get it in the past, Vince McMahon when they did unsanctioned matches, it was like our normal match. Just, they just wanted to tell you it wasn't an official match. There were no rules. It was unsanctioned. But here, it just kind of felt a little weird. Like they overthought things pretty much. I get what they were going for. But when the referee, Eddie Arango, he wasn't in a referee shirt. He gets taken out by accidental haluva kick from Sami Zayn. And then Charles Robinson comes out wearing a referee shirt to replace Eddie Arango. And then Kevin Owens clotheslines the hell out of him. And then Ryan Tran comes in to replace him. And he's wearing a referee shirt as well. Yeah, that was just a little distracting for me. So like I said before, Kevin Owens beat Sami Zayn here after hitting 2 apron power bombs. After the match, Owens went into full psycho mode, ripping up the padding outside, exposing the concrete, and he was about to hit a package pile driver on Sami when, just as I had predicted, Randy Orton, the Viper, the Legend Killer, made his return. Now, I would have preferred if Orton had actually cost Owens the match here, but this was still a great moment. He hit Owens with an RKO, set up for the punt kick, and just as he was about to take Owens out, WWE officials rushed in to stop him, allowing Owens to escape. So now, we're set up for a battle of the banned moves at WrestleMania. Orton's punt kick versus Owens' package pile driver. That's a match that is going to be one to see. But let's talk about Sami Zayn for a second here, because his WrestleMania direction is still really unclear. It's crazy to think about, considering that just last year at WrestleMania, he was the guy who ended Gunther's historic Intercontinental Championship reign. Fast forward to now, and we're not even sure what his role on the card is going to be. There's been some build with Karrion Kross trying to get in his head over the last few weeks, so maybe that's his direction. I don't know. But right now, Sami's in a pretty unusual spot. And then, they announced on Raw last night that Sami was going to be out indefinitely, so I don't know, maybe he misses WrestleMania this year. I have no idea. But, we'll see where everything leads for Sami Zayn. All right, let's go to the main event. This was the men's Elimination Chamber match. We had John Cena, CM Punk, Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. I predicted that John Cena was going to win. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot my the match rating for the last match. It was 3.5 out of 5. But yeah, so the men's chamber match, I predicted John Cena was going to win, and he did win. Yeah, this was a great match overall. It didn't go exactly the way I expected. For weeks I was convinced that Roman Reigns was going to make his return here to take out CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But that didn't happen. So now, WWE is clearly saving his return for another moment. Probably to set up the rumored triple threat match between Punk, Rollins, and Roman at WrestleMania. That match is coming. It's just a matter of when Roman decides to strike, and I believe that'll probably happen next week on Raw during Punk and Rollins' steel cage match. But anyhow, now heading into this match, I thought Drew McIntyre was going to be a dark horse, a real threat to sneak in a win, but I could not have been more wrong. Drew was the first one eliminated, and honestly, I found it hilarious. WWE has been booking him as this guy who just loses his mind whenever he doesn't get his way, and this just added to that. And the way he got eliminated, a roll-up. He didn't get taken out with someone's finisher or a huge spot. Damian Priest caught him slipping and rolled him up. Just like that, Drew was out. And of course, in typical McIntyre fashion, he couldn't take the loss like a man. He immediately hit Priest with a Claymore out of frustration, which left Priest wide open for Logan Paul to swoop in and eliminate him. So yeah, if it wasn't already obvious, we're definitely getting Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest at WrestleMania. From there, the match was really starting to pick up. There were some solid sequences and storytelling moments. The one thing I wish this match had more of was those crazy high-impact spots that makes Elimination Chamber matches what they are supposed to be. We got some. Logan Paul slamming Priest onto the steel grate was a good one, but there weren't a ton of those jaw-dropping moments. The closest thing to that was Rollins launching Cena through the pod, crashing through the plexiglass. That looked brutal. And it was a great reminder that for all the fun-loving Hollywood side of Cena, he will put his body on the line when it matters. But outside of that, there wasn't much in the way of insane bumps or high-risk moves, which is kind of a letdown for a match like this. The final stretch of this match, though, phenomenal storytelling. It came down to John Cena and CM Punk, which I loved. This was a callback to one of the greatest rivalries of the modern era, and when these two stood face-to-face in the chamber, it was a straight-up goosebumps moment. They even told each other they missed each other before throwing down like it was Money in the Bank 2011 all over again. And I don't care what anyone says, Cena versus Punk is one match that needs to happen one-on-one before Cena officially retires. The chemistry, the history, the crowd investment, it's all still there. And the ending, absolutely brilliant. Cena and Punk worked together to eliminate Seth Rollins. Rollins wasn't going to go down without getting even. Right before leaving, he hits Punk with the stomp onto the steel grate. That was nasty. And while Punk was still reeling from that, Cena took full advantage, locking in the STF. Meanwhile, Seth is outside the cage, is staring Punk down through the steel and literally yelling at him to die. Punk struggled and ultimately passed out in the STF. And just like that, Cena got the win. That was such a dramatic finish, and it really meant something. You had Rollins getting his revenge, Cena taking advantage, and Punk going out in a way that makes him look tough rather than weak. John Cena winning this match solidifies his path to the biggest show of the year. So overall, great match. I give it a 4 out of 5. Really strong storytelling. But I do wish we got a little more chaos and destruction. The chamber match should feel dangerous. And while this was definitely a high quality match, it didn't quite hit that insane level of brutality I was hoping for. But still, the Cena versus Punk moment alone made this match feel special. And now we're set up for some major WrestleMania developments in the coming weeks.
I want it all, Rock. My soul no longer belongs to me. And you know why? Because I gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. What?
All right, now, the end of the show. Did Cody Rhodes sell his soul to The Rock? Hell no, he didn't. And I figured Cody would not do this. But it brought about one of the most shocking, earth-shattering moments in wrestling history. And I called it. I cannot believe I was right. I knew John Cena was turning heel. I predicted it. I said it was coming. the level of savagery that WWE was about to unleash here. I thought Cena would turn in the men's Elimination Chamber match itself, maybe get help from The Rock, to interfere or something. But what actually happened, way bigger, way more personal, and way more disgusting. Yeah, Cena, like I said, won the men's Elimination Chamber match. He'd just gone through a war. He outlasted 5 other guys. And now it's official. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, the biggest match of the year. And for a moment, it seemed like that was the big story of the night. But nope. Because Cena was standing in the ring, catching his breath, taking it all in, when Cody's music hits. Out walks the champ, the American Nightmare, looking straight at the man he now has to defend it against. They are happy to see each other, and when Cena looks like he's about to leave the ring, here comes The Rock and Travis Scott. Out came the final boss, and one of the biggest rappers in the world coming down to the ring. We already knew why The Rock was out there. The sales pitch. For Cody to be his champion. To sell his soul to him. Bend the knee. Join him. Become bigger than ever. Cody teased that he might be heading that way, saying he wanted it all. But then he said that he gave his soul to the ring and to the fans a long time ago. And then he looked The Rock dead in his eyes and dropped a crystal clear, "Go F yourself" on live TV at a WWE PLE, no censor, no muting, straight up told The Rock to eat it. That alone, iconic. But then, The Rock showed that he was 10 steps ahead the entire time. Because the final boss knew that Cody was going to say no. He knew Cody would stick to his principles and be uncorrupted by The Rock. And then there was the custom weight belt that said Cody's soul on it. And if that wasn't enough, right underneath it was the death date of Cody's father, the legendary, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Straight up final boss villainy. And this when it gets crazier. Cena, standing there the entire time, had everyone fooled. He made it seem like he was on Cody's side. He even hugged him as if they were 2 great friends who had each other's backs. And then, the switch. Cena's face changed. The evil, smug, "I just got you" grin. He looked over at The Rock. And Rock, like a true puppet master, just gave him the throat slash gesture, giving the career-altering signal. And right there, John Cena did the unthinkable. Low blow. Cody drops like a sack of bricks. The crowd had all the air sucked out of him. And then Cena went full mobster here. He takes Cody's Rolex that fell to the mat, wraps it around his knuckles, and just starts wrecking Cody's face. Hits him with a microphone, and then he takes the WWE Championship and hits him with that too, and busts Cody Rhodes open. And then when you thought it couldn't get any worse, The Rock picks up that custom weight belt, and what does he do with it? He whips Cody with it several times, and then takes Cody's own blood and wipes on the belt, like he did in last year's build for WrestleMania. I hope Mama Rhodes wasn't watching. And then Travis Scott also got a little physical and smacked Cody for real. No work slap, no pulled punch, dude just straight up hit him. And I get why some fans hated that. Travis Scott isn't a wrestler. It's always dicey when celebs get physically involved, but let's be real. WWE is all in on Travis Scott. It's on 4x4 as the Raw theme, and theme is presumably the WrestleMania theme. They're making him part of the story, whether people like it or not. But, let's take a step back and look at what just happened here. Cody versus Cena at WrestleMania isn't just about the WWE Championship anymore. It's become personal. Cena didn't just turn heel. He went full villain. This isn't some cool, edgy Hollywood Cena heel turn where he just cuts a cocky promos and sells more t-shirts. Nah, this man just turned into a menace. And The Rock, more dangerous than ever. He's stacking the deck against Cody in ways no one else ever could. WWE just pulled off one of the greatest heel turns ever. Bottom line, WWE just booked one of the most shocking, brutal, and legendary endings to a PLE in years. Cena isn't just a bad guy now. He's the most hated man on the planet. The Rock is pulling strings at a level that we've never seen before. And Cody just went from being WWE's top babyface to being the ultimate underdog. And WrestleMania just got turned up a whole other level. So, yeah, man, that's a lot to take in. But yeah, Elimination Chamber was a good show with a legendary ending. I was originally going to give this chamber a 7 out of 10, but with that whole ending alone, I have to bump it up to an 8. 8 out of 10, great show. And I just want to make a quick mention of the theme for Elimination Chamber. I feel like WWE absolutely nailed it. They went with New Way Out by Poppy, and let me tell you, it fit the show like a damn glove. The whole vibe of the song is about fighting through your demons, overcoming obstacles, and refusing to take the easy way out. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what Cody Rhodes did when he rejected The Rock's offer to sell his soul, and we all saw how that turned out. Cena took one look at the situation and said, F that, and hit Cody with the biggest betrayal of his career. And look, WWE doesn't always get their PLE theme songs right. Hell, most of the time, they don't. They just grab some generic, overproduced rock or pop song and slap it on the promo package and call it a day. Half the time, the theme has absolutely nothing to do with what's actually happened on TV. It's like they went on Spotify, typed in wrestling hype music, and picked the first track with a power chord. But this time, they actually put some thought into it. Because New Way Out isn't just a catchy track for the sake of having background music. It actually meant something. The song resonated with the storytelling that we've been seeing. Cody Rhodes was standing at a crossroads, no pun intended, facing the biggest decision of his career. And instead of selling out, he stayed true to himself. Meanwhile, John Cena, Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect himself, took one step into the dark side and slammed the door behind him. That's real storytelling, and that song fit that moment perfectly. And let's not ignore the fact that Poppy's music always brings that chaotic and rebellious energy, which is exactly what this PLE needed. The chamber itself is brutal, unpredictable, and unforgiving, just like this song. It's a high stakes, high drama, and had real consequences. You just don't walk into the Elimination Chamber, have a nice little match, and leave the same person. Nah, you either come out victorious, or you come out broken. So yeah, major props to WWE for getting this one right. For once, the theme wasn't just some forgettable track playing in the background of a hype package before fading into oblivion. This time, it actually amplified the moment, made everything feel bigger, and tied into the story they were telling. If you weren't feeling the song, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe go listen to some elevator music or something, because this was the perfect theme to one of the wildest nights in recent memory. But yeah, I feel like this one's going to go down as one of the most memorable shows in WWE history, and we are definitely now on the road to WrestleMania. So that's my review and breakdown of Elimination Chamber. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me, your thoughts. Let me know. I'm on Instagram at the Cody Springer, and then we have an Instagram for this show. It is at Pro Wrestling Focus, and this show is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, and I will talk to you guys here very soon. Take care. Talk to you soon.